What's up? What's up, y'all? Polo Sports Talking ENT. Back again with yet another one. And make sure you hit the like and hit the sub, comment, notifications, do all that stuff, okay? Now, this is according to reports that Rajon Rondo is unlikely to remain with the Grizzlies, okay? And they're opening another door, another move for another contender, and of course that contender is going to be with the Lakers. Okay, that's going to be dependent upon several things. Now he uh, apparently he's open to going back both with the Lakers and as well as the Celtics, and he's not. He just the Clippers, they dealt Rondo in a package, of course, to get Eric Bledsoe. And see, the whole motivation of the Grizzlies was to get Patrick Beverly, but they went ahead and they got him to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, what's interesting about that too is that the Lakers are also open to getting uh, Patrick Beverly back, Patrick Beverly over there too as well. How that's going to work out, I don't exactly know, but I think that right now the Timberwolves might be kind of content in staying with Patrick Beverly, from my understanding. And then also, what's also profound about this too is that they're close to, getting Isaiah Thomas too as well. Uh, I think that both of uh, these pickups right here would it would make them pretty decent. Now Rondo, how much does he have left in the tank? I don't exactly know, but I've never been the one to doubt Rondo. I've never been the one to exactly uh, doubt Rondo. Okay, uh, you know, as far as the workout and how it went with Isaiah Thomas, uh, it went pretty good. And that wasn't anything surprising though, because he did do a pretty good job when he was in the program. I know some people are like, well, it was just a program. He put, up 140 points in 2 days and everything. But that still shows something. That shows that, he's back to his normal now. Will he be able to thrive at the NBA level? That remains to be seen. But the Lakers are trying to get a third point guard and also add a wing. So those are the primary concerns, and who better than to have, out of the three, you got a primary defender in Patrick Beverly, who could be a stopper when his head is right too. You got to think, man, with the antics and stuff like that. And I'm still a little disappointed in him and what he did to Chris Paul, possibly ending his career. Then you got a playmaker in Rondo who can facilitate, set the table, and brings a veteran presence, and as well as a tenacity, that old school type of mindset to them, along with the other guys that's on there. And then also you bring in a scorer who is known to be a scorer, in Isaiah Thomas. So I think I think the Lakers, because Frank Vogel had already stated and came out and said that he wants the Lakers to play up to who they trading for Rondo, or is a buyout. That situation remains to be seen. That situation right there remains to be seen, because you got to remember, uh hold on one sec. You got to remember that they're still searching for those two wings. And they need a point guard. So they're definitely gonna go after them. And I already knew that this situation was gonna happen. To take place because when shout out to Ticket TV too. If you haven't subbed to Ticket TV channel, definitely go sub to his channel. He always bringing dope content as well on both of his channels. But when he reported it initially, I kind of already knew. Okay, this is something, and I'm talking about the trade that had taken place with Patrick Beverly and Rondo going over to the Memphis Grizzlies. I kind of knew something was gonna, I was like, man, they're not done yet. They're trying to do something. Rondo does bring an element. He's a champion there. He's always going to be welcome in both places, whether it's the Lakers or the Celtics. Rondo will be welcome anywhere because of what he brings. They'll welcome him back anywhere, more so than Isaiah Thomas and more so than Patrick Beverly, more than anything. And that's not a knock on them, but he's the one that has the championship hardware. He's the one that's done more in the league. Um, do I think that this is a tremendous fit? Yeah, it would. Does that put them in an automatic championship? That remains to be seen because I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment and say, oh yeah, they're automatically in the championship. But from what I hear and from what the Lakers are trying to do, they're trying to play an up tempo style. They're trying to play at a fast break style. That's what Vogel wants to do. You know, uh, they're looking at 8 million, but they don't think that Rondo isn't worth 8 million at this stage of his career. And um, the thing about it is that he didn't really average that much, but his impact was still really, really great. His impact was great when he played with the Clippers. His impact was great when he played with the Clippers. Now, another thing that we also have to look at too is that at one point in time they were exploring looking at Golden State was exploring looking at Rondo at one point in time because of the fact that Steve Kerr loves high IQ players for a complicated flow offense or motion offense that he's running, and he said that Rondo would be a perfect fit. Um, I kind of wanted him. I kind of wanted him with Philly. I'm gonna be real with you because as much as they talk about Ben Simmons and the defense and all this other stuff, Rondo could do just as much as that, and if not more, because the fact that he shot 35.8 from his career for over the past 6 seasons, that's actually pretty good. Now, that's better than what Ben Simmons is shooting, and we could rely upon Rajon Rondo in the fourth quarter in compared to Ben Simmons. Now, he, a lot of people still think that because of the youth, what I'm saying, they'll take Ben Simmons over Rondo, but I'm taking championship experience over that any day. Now we ought to understand that Rondo he's in the twilight of his career, but I'm not gonna count him out by any means. You know, uh, we got to remember that Rondo was able to resurrect his career after being in Dallas, and he's still going to try to prove that he has something left in the tank. And that goes for Isaiah Thomas too. A lot of people don't understand that Isaiah Thomas, what set him back was the injury. What set him back was the injury, and it was. I think that it was highway robbery what Danny Ainge did to Isaiah Thomas while he was in Boston, and I think that he never got a quite the fair shake that he did. And then he ended up going to a couple other places or whatever. So this is another chance for another player to resurrect his career too. All of these guys can resurrect in some form or fashion. And then you got to talk about Patrick Beverly. You know, he didn't show. He's been hurt. He didn't play. The whole season as he usually does. And then when he came back, he did semi okay and everything, but it was the boneheaded antics that he was doing. And I'm a Patrick Beverly. I love Patrick Beverly to death for what he brings on defense. But your mental, man, you got to hold your mental. And but will he help the Lakers out? Absolutely, absolutely. Patrick Beverly will help you out on defense. He'll help you out on defense, but we'll have to see though, because uh, he just chose uh, a jersey number. He changed his jersey number with the Minnesota Timberwolves from 21 to 22 because he announced it on Twitter. And he didn't want to wear that. He didn't want to wear that jersey number because of who wore 21. It was the big ticket. It was KG. You know, it was a big ticket. He was the one that wore that number, so he did it out of respect for KG. Paying homage to him. But that's not what the point of this is. My point is that he could come back and make a profound impact on what Vogel is trying to do. And then on top of that too, Vogel has been known to be defensive minded. He's been known to be defensive minded. I don't think that this is this isn't really any type of surprise. This isn't any type of surprise. I think that the Lakers, um, and I think I heard Richard Jefferson say this. He was saying that the Lakers are going to do pretty solid during the regular season in terms of possibly their shooting and everything. But where the concern comes in is how they're going to do shooting wise in terms of the playoffs. That's where and when it comes to closing out. Um, but Milwaukee has proved that you don't need that much 3-point shooting. The Lakers, the previous year before that, proved that they don't need, a whole bunch of 3-point shooting in order to be successful. They won on the mid range and being inside mostly. You know, so this is going to be interesting to see. Both. I think Isaiah Thomas. I think I was talking to somebody a while back, and they were saying that Isaiah Thomas might not be a good fit because him and LeBron didn't get along and everything. Well, hey, he's making his way back. And see, when you don't have any type of championships under your belt and you don't have no rings or anything, as I've said before, you'll do anything almost anything, just just so that you can be successful. You're gonna listen. You're gonna listen more. You're gonna be more understanding. You're doing everything that you can to get that ring. Guys really want that ring. They want that trophy. What's up with it, Theo B? Yo, Theo B, I think you're on mute, man.
Oh, how you doing, bro? I'm just listening to your comment. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. What you got on this, man?
Oh, I came in late, so I apologize. I was just wondering, was there a buyout with Memphis for Rondo, or was there another deal on the table?
Most likely, that's probably what's going to take place because they were saying that, or was saying that this isn't permanent, and I knew that the Memphis move wasn't permanent for neither one of these players. Some people probably thought that it was, but I knew something was going to possibly open up because he was open to going back to Boston, and he was open to the possibility of going back to the Lakers. But see, the problem I think with Boston is that they just re-signed Marcus Smart to the 5 year. They got him long term.
A- And they also signed another guard. I can't think. They also signed a backup guard too.
Yeah, and then they got Pritchard.
Yeah, Pritchard and
Yeah,
Naismith, the rookies from last year. Yeah, Pritchard's gonna be pretty good if they let him get his time.
yeah, Pritchard, because he performed well in the summer league, and not only did he perform well in the summer league, he put up like an insane 92 points in the program. So I think that their future is on lock. That situation that remains to be seen, and that's a damn good question that you did ask Theo B. But I just know that their primary focus, the Lakers' primary focus, is to get two guards or two wing players, a point guard and another wing player. That's their primary focus right now. And Isaiah Thomas and Rondo, with the possibility of Patrick Beverly, which I don't. I think that's kind of iffy. With those two players right there are going to be there.
If I could ask you, do you think they're gonna fill that role with the rookie they picked, Mac McClung? You know, with his athleticism and his play style, he's kind of similar to like a young Alex Caruso. Do you see him taking that spot in the Lakers summer league? He played well, and he was their draft pick this year. I
That
know it's a
remains to
tough
be
one, but I know
seen,
he,
man.
he he's almost like a Alex Caruso clone. So
Yeah. And I like Alex Caruso. Like, to me, I was wondering, like, I was wondering what they're doing. But if he, being that they see him like, that Alex Caruso clone, yeah, that would be definitely great because, okay, yes, do they have defenders on their squad? Yeah, they do. When you talk about what's his name, Ellington, Wayne Ellington. When you talk about Trevor Ariza, but he's older. And then when you talk about, see, people don't look at Russell Westbrook as a good defender. Russell Westbrook is a solid defender. I wish people would stop saying that. If he's
absolutely.
able to, okay, is he a great like a on ball defender, like a PJ Tucker or something like that? No, because he does so many other things. But he can still move laterally and he hustles on defense. You know what I'm saying? I wish people would understand that. But I think that would be a great pickup, DLB.
Well, you
Absolutely,
know
because
that's another false
that Alex
narrative that's put out
Caruso
there.
void need to be filled. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry, man.
Oh no, I agree with you about Westbrook. That's another false narrative that's put out there by the media. Like they said, the Lakers don't have shooters. But if you look at Carmelo, if you look at Kendrick Nunn, Monk, Wayne Ellington, all these guys, if they were on the Lakers last year, they'd be in the top five in shooting. They all made 103 pointers, and they all shot at 40%. And the majority of those
Mm.
guys can catch and shoot in the mid range. So it's just another false narrative that the mainstream media has put out there. And that's why I enjoy your channel so much because you can break down those things, those false narratives. But the Lakers do have plenty of shooting.
Yeah, well, yeah, they do have plenty of shooting, but you see, this was my thing too here. But see, in comparison to those other teams, brother, you know better than I do. The last two teams that have won the championship, they didn't just do it primarily on 3 point shooting. Yeah, they had guys
right?
that were knocking them down occasionally here and there and stuff. But what were they doing at Theo B? They were doing it from the mid range, and
Mid range.
they also play pretty good defense
Yeah.
too, and fast break points and points in the paint and stuff.
Yeah, in Toronto with Kawhi Leonard and even like they call the stretch four, the stretch five with Marc Gasol and Ibaka, they all
Right.
operate in the mid range. The same thing with the Lakers and same thing in Milwaukee. Like you can go back to the last three championships.
hmm I enjoyed it. I absolutely enjoyed it. I think that the game, because Theo, man, I'm gonna be real with you, man. I don't like all the 3 pointer here, 3 pointer there, 3 pointer here, 3 pointer. Can we see something different?
Yeah, some of the fans brought up in Philadelphia kind of hope that they might be willing, but Doc Rivers being old school might break that trend if he's able to
hmm
play. If he's able to play Drummond and Embiid together at some time, like a Twin Towers, that might kind of buck that trend because,
I'm gonna be real with
like
you,
you said,
Theo. You already know if you pay attention to
yeah,
my channel, you know I'm a Philly fan, and I'm gonna be
yeah,
upset. I'm gonna be real with you, and I was upset when Drummond came because you know who I wanted, man. I
oh
wanted a
yeah,
guy like Carl Anthony Towns. I was intrigued in the fact that okay, man, you got a guy in Taco Fall just sitting, wasting his talents, man. There's other guys out there who are more quality that I felt would have brought more to the table. And then on top of that, you got the turmoil that's going on with Ben Simmons and everything, and he don't want to be there. You're over there showing, you know what you're doing on social media, working on your jumper and everything like that, but you fail to contact the organization. No, go ahead, get Maxi up in there because he's from my area over here in Dallas and everything, and come over. Just go ahead and start him. They put his feet to the fire. He's got a taste of what it's like to be under pressure and everything. Okay, start him. Get Ben Simmons out of there. He performed well in the summer league and everything. Drummond is it's kind of iffy though, Theo, because I just
yeah.
don't trust him. I don't trust his work ethic. I don't trust nothing about this guy, especially in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I got one last thing for now. I'll let you go, brother. But I think on your Sixers, man, I'm biased. I'm here near Chicago, but I think you guys should give more time to B-ball Paul Reed at the four
Ooh.
because he
Wait a
he
minute, Theo. You can't get out of here like that. You said Chicago.
and
You
yeah,
a Chicago fan?
I'm not really a Chicago Bull. I live here, but I mostly used to support Memphis. My family from Memphis, so
Oh, okay. You a John them. Hey, but
yeah.
hey, Theo, I know you sound like you gotta go, but I'm gonna tell you like this. I
Oh yeah,
Everybody
I'm
asked me
listening.
who had the best draft or the best off season, I should say. Who had the best off season? I put Chicago there and I put Charlotte. I think
You think
people are sleeping
DeRozan
on
and
those two
Levine can
teams.
work together?
What's that?
You think Levine and DeRozan won't get in each other's way? Levine and DeRozan, since they play the same game.
When when you got Lonzo Ball running the point guard with these guys. I think he's going to resurrect his career because he improved his shooting. He improved his free throw shooting. He improved his 3 point shooting. Field goals, not so much, but he boosted his scoring average to 17. I think that a combination of Lonzo Ball being there, he'll be able to surge it. Then you got Caruso, we were just talking about. Then you got DeRozan, of course. Uh, I think that it will work. DeRozan's not the type to step on anybody's toes.
Yeah. What
And
should
they
they do
got
with marketing? Do you
Vucevic
think they
too.
should sign and trade him?
Vucevic, that inside out game, that would work perfectly. Vucevic is really, really slept on. He was a terror inside in Orlando.
Oh yeah, and a former Sixer too. You guys let him go up there in Philly. You guys
Yeah,
should
I
have kept
know, I
him.
know, I know, I know. I try to throw that up.
I, you know, I,
I'm
you
like,
know, I
damn.
don't. I had to argue with my guy in Philly the other day, my man. I used to live there for a short time, but it's like
Oh, okay, okay.
people don't remember the Sixers actually had Vucevic, and then they
hmm
had Jeremiah Grant and Christian Wood at the same time,
Right.
like later on. So you guys had all these young
I hate
stars
that
didn't
we
know what
got
to do
rid of
with it.
Richardson.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that was
hate that
unbelievable.
Richardson left. And now look at where Richardson he thrive. His game is thriving in Dallas.
Yeah, and if y'all had Christian Wood right now and Jeremiah Grant, you'd probably be there,
Yeah,
or
Woods.
But hey, bro, I appreciate it. I love the channel, man, and keep doing what you're doing.
What's up with it, TJ? I see you in the building, man. Yeah, man. Theo, man, you got to come on, man. I like your insight, man. Come on to the panel, man. You sound like you know what you're talking. We got to definitely talk about your Memphis Grizzlies because I see them. They lost a big key though in Valachunas. That was a big key loss right there, man.
Yeah,
But y'all
absolutely,
got
brother.
Steven
I
Adams,
appreciate it,
man.
man. And y'all have a great day too.
Okay, Theo B, man. Always a pleasure, man. Thank you for coming
Thank you,
on.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, hey TJ. Yeah, that's, if it does take place, if it does take place, now we're gonna be talking. Well, hey, TJ, I'm gonna give you. Matter of fact, you gotta email me your email, and I'm gonna give you a link though. But no, not point guard. They're focused on wing. They're focused on one primary point guard. You know, Isaiah Thomas. He don't get me wrong. He's a point guard. Oh, you can't hear me? Hey, push one. Push one if you can hear me. Push one if you can hear me, man. Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. Okay, all right, that's great. All right, look, they're focused on getting wing. They're focused on getting a wing, and they're focused on getting a point guard. That's their primary focus. And like hold on one second. Hold on one second. Okay, yeah, their primary focus is to get a wing player, and they're trying to get a point guard. And the interest that come in mind were because Rondo wasn't going to be content. I mean, he wasn't just going to stay there. I kind of already knew that, you know. And so we're gonna have to see what happens. I think it would be a great pickup because he was open to returning to Boston. I mean, to either Boston or LA. But the problem with Boston is uh, they they re-signed Marcus Smart, and then they got to figure out what they're gonna do with Robert Williams. I think when the season happens, because you know he's gonna be up for his rookie deal, and then they got Pritchard and those guys over there. So that's where the problem is. And then of course with LA, that's what their focus is. So they're like, why not grab Rondo? He's championship proven. He has a pedigree. He's a veteran. Uh, he's savvy. He knows what he's doing. Uh, I don't know about. I mean, the defense it's not as I wouldn't say it was like it was when he was younger, but he's still solid for his age. And the main thing is that he knows how to set the table. That's the main thing, you know. like this is coming from Bleacher Report. Uh, TJ, it says LA has 12 players under guaranteed contracts and plans to carry 14 into the season. That's coming from Haynes, Chris Haynes, and the Lakers are reportedly prioritizing a third point guard and also add a wing. That's coming from Bleacher Report, man. So that's who they're trying to get. Okay, I'm still cutting out. All right, hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. Don't hey, stay with me, man. Hold on. All right. Can y'all hear me now? Press one. Okay, it's better now. All right. I'm on the headset now. Well, wait, what? Hey, come in here and talk about it, man. Cause I feel differently, man. I feel differently. You don't think it's a good situation? I put the link in there for you. Okay, all right. I appreciate it, Theo. I appreciate that help, man. I like the move Lakers. Man, yeah, y'all have a lot of decent playmakers, man. I kind of if they do this, this is gonna be a. I'm not gonna say a checkmate, but it'll be a chess move. Uh, I'm sticking with this. I think the biggest checkmates right now in the off season were Phoenix because they got JaVale McGee. Wait, what? Go ahead and come in here, man. If you're gonna come in, brother. Uh, they got JaVale McGee with Phoenix. I think Chicago made a chess move. Uh, Not necessarily saying it's gonna be checkmate, and I think that Charlotte made a checkmate. You know, because of the draft picks and then bringing in Oubre, and a lot of people don't think that Oubre is going to be a tremendous pickup. I think he's going to be a damn good pickup. I think he's going to be a great pickup. You know, I think he fits that style. Yeah, Chicago. That's what I was saying. That's what I said. Hey, Chicago. That's what I said. Who's the best free agent outside left? You got Paul Millsap, Kenneth Fareed. Well, yeah, Michael Beasley. Yeah, Michael Beasley and Kenneth Fareed. I don't know, but Michael Beasley and maybe Kenneth Fareed, Michael Beasley. But see, the problem with that, Theo, is that Michael Beasley he'll perform good for just a little bit, and then he doesn't remain consistent. JJ Redick, man, shout out to Duke. I love my Blue Devils and stuff, man. But it's time for JJ Redick to just go ahead and hang him up, man. You know he runs. Just look at the way he runs, man. He runs on his heels, man. Like um, I just don't think that JJ doesn't have that much to offer yet. And I love them as a shooter, but I just don't know. I don't know about that deal. But the free agency. Okay, the free agents that we have to look at too. is Theo. You brought up a good point. Uh, oh, shit. Give me 1 second, man. Give me 1 second. Um, you still got DeMarcus Cousins, and you got Paul Millsap. Millsap. Um, you got Wesley. You got Wesley Matthews. You got James Ennis, and like you said, JJ Redick. Hey, don't forget about Avery Bradley either, Theo. So those guys are still available. Those guys are still available, and I think that they're going to take. Okay, who trying to come in? S Young. Okay, look, it. Okay, you are. I know you with the Tar Heels. What's up with it, Young? I'm gonna get to you in a second. You said the Tar Heels. Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, I respect the Tar Heels, even though I'm Blue Devils all day. It's all good. Kyle Korver, hang it up until he should resign with the Bucks. One ring, yeah. Matthews. You said Matthews need to retire. No, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Wesley Matthews still got he got a lot left in the tank. It's just that they weren't using him right. I don't think he thrives that good in Vogel's system. Avery Bradley signed with the Bulls, or did he turn it down? No, he's still, and not unless something changed. Did something change? Is he still an unrestricted free agent? Young
Who?
Avery Bradley, because he was listed on there as a free agent,
Uh,
because he's one of the top guys on there.
think I think he's a free agent.
No, because they got Bradley, because he's still with the Rockets.
Yeah, I think
J.J.
so.
Redick, Wesley Matthews, James Ennis, Paul Millsap. You already mentioned that. Harry Giles, the third, DeMarcus Cousins, and then the restricted free agent is Laurie Markkanen, and he's restricted. He was Shot Town.
Yeah, yeah, but this is ridiculous.
What you talking about?
This the Isaiah, the Isaiah and Rondo, too many
And
guards.
Rondo? Well,
He was
that's what they're
talking.
looking for. And a young. It came on Bleacher Report. This was in reference to uh, to Isaiah Thomas. It says L.A. has 12 players under guaranteed contracts and plans to carry 14 into the season per Haynes, or from Chris Haynes. The Lakers are reportedly prioritizing, quote, a third point guard, end quote, and also could also add a wing. So they're looking hard for two guards. And I think that the reason why they put a quote around those point guards is because they don't necessarily need just a primary court guard. I think they probably were looking for a combo guard, somebody that can play both. And who's good at that? Rondo. He doesn't necessarily need to handle the ball.
Yeah, but like I said, it's too many guards, man. It's really too many. Now you got Westbrook, Westbrook, Kid Nunn, this Rondo,
No,
Isaiah.
no, 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 no.
That's
Now,
that's
see, no, no. I'm not talking about what you're saying, Young. Um, look here. I'm not talking about. He said you said Matthews was awful. You said Matthews was awful on the bus. No, he wasn't.
Wesley Matthews?
Yeah, Matthews was not awful on the Bucks. Come on, man. How you going? Hey, Theo, how you gonna come on here and you don't debate me on that? And then you gonna go in there and chat with you? No, 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 no. I can't let you get away with that.
I
Wesley
mean,
Matthews was
I
very, he
mean,
was very solid with the Bucks.
I mean,
He was
I
a
don't
solid
know. I don't
defender.
know. I mean, I
No,
don't
he
know.
was a solid defender.
I don't know, bro.
Go ahead.
I remember we played against them in the bubble. We like that. I remember playing
Listen,
against in the bubble. We liked that man up. If it wasn't, you
yeah,
know,
but I mean, he was the one defending everybody though. He was the best besides Giannis, the best defender on that team. And some people might say Middleton was the second one, but I felt like it was Wesley Matthews. Listen, if he was so trash and he was so garbage,
yeah.
hold on one second. If he was so trash and so garbage, then how come
Hmm.
he shot 39.6%, 38.6% and he shot 41.4% the year prior to that. That's not garbage.
Now you saying the year before that? Yeah, yeah. He was. He wasn't. He wasn't. No, I'm saying like in the bubbles, he wasn't. I mean, playing well. So, no, that's what I'm
Well,
playing. Mm-hmm.
well, to me, nobody was really at their best at the bubble.
PJ Tucker was. I mean, not PJ. I keep saying PJ Tucker. um, TJ Warren was.
Yeah, but right. But see, the thing about it though is that everybody, the situation. I'm not making no excuses. The situation in the bubble, man, was something that some people were forced upon to do what they really. A lot of people really didn't want to. A lot of people weren't even there mentally. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people really didn't even want to play. You got to realize what we were going through at that time. And I know nobody put a gun to their head. You have to show up. But to me, not everybody was at their best at the bubble like that. I mean, some people were like, okay, KP wasn't at his best at the bubble. Hold
Mm.
on one second, young man. I got to go out and come back in. Okay, hey, all right. Yes, I understand that. Listen, I know that he only averaged 4.8 points, but I just told you, Theo, that they did not use him right. He didn't even really play that much either. Right. He was in the wrong situation. He was in a better situation. Vogel was not using Wesley Matthews right. He didn't even look interested in playing. Plus, there was a lot of turmoil going on. None of them guys were getting along. Then you got the whole drama spilling over with Schroeder and Kuzma, and then Schroeder and LeBron. They were getting into it. And the reason why I know about Schroeder and LeBron, because what's his name put me hip to the game. Shout out to Casino for life. He put me onto that. And actually Schroeder did much better than what people give him credit for, but he started, he messed up a lot too. But his attitude was toxic. But to say the least, man, nobody was getting along over there. Theo B. Look at his production before he had got or he went to the L.A. and then look at it afterwards. Only thing that really didn't drop too much was his 3 pointers. Nobody played well for the Lakers um, when it came to that, man. That whole situation was turmoil, man. It was toxic. Am I tripping?
No, you ain't. Mhm.
Okay, young. I got to give you something. Okay, when you say who played phenomenal in the bubble, guys that come to mind when I say who played phenomenal in the bubble were guys like uh uh
I
Luca,
say, I say Devin Booker. You know,
Yeah, Devin Booker.
who good? Devin Booker. Um, Jimmy Butler. I'm saying, Um,
Okay, wait a minute. I think you got Wait a minute. No, 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 no. You got your Theo. I'm not gonna let you get away with that. What are you talking about? He shot 36.4% in 19 and 20. Listen, I'm gonna read them off to you, okay? Hey Sterling, you with me too, all right? If I miss something, let me know.
hmm
Okay. In 21, Wesley Matthews he shot 40 he shot 33.5%, okay? Then in the previous year, which is in 1920, he shot 36.4%. The previous year before that, in
his,
1819,
his field goal wise, his field goal wise.
no, 3 pointers. He
Okay,
shot,
so 2019,
but he wasn't taking that many attempts the last 3 years. Now he shot 36.9 in 1819. I'm not going to count the New York Knicks because he didn't even play but 2 games. Then on top of that, when he played for Dallas that previous season, he shot 38% in 44 games. He was averaging 2.1 attempt 4.7 attempts and 2.1 makes. Then on top of that, before that, he shot 37.2%. Then on top of that, before that, he shot 38%. Then on top of that, he shot 36%. Then on top of that, before that, he shot 36% again. Then on top of that, he shot 38.9 with the Blazers. Then with the Blazers again, before that, he shot 39%. Then before that, 39.8%. Then what are you talking about? This guy ain't tried 38.3, 40.7. Man, I'm done. 37.9 for his career. COB, stop it. He got way more attempts. And listen to this, young. You want to know how many attempts he was getting with Portland back in the days, young? He got an astonishing 3.5. I mean 7.3. Uh, I'm sorry about that. Hold on. Excuse me. He got an astonishing 4.6 attempts and was making 1.9. After that, it was 5.1 attempts. After that, it was 6.2. After that, it was 6.2 again. After that, it was 7.4 again. 6.7, 6.6, 5.8. You know what he was getting with the Lakers? 3.4, 4.4, stuff like that. He wasn't rarely getting the ball like that, man. I mean, in Milwaukee, he got, I think, 4.4, but you got to realize he had other options, and at that time, Brook Lopez was doing phenomenal with the 3 point shooting. So how was he not productive? If you got a guy in there and you're not using him right, of course, like if me or Sterling go to a different team, we get moved, and we Sterling's averaging like 20 points. I'm averaging like 15. We back court mates, and then we sit the bench out of our normal role. You think that we gonna play that great? Can't even get a rhythm? No. Let me know if I'm missing something here. Hey, and check this. Hey, I'm gonna hit you with another stat too, Theo B. Do you know what Wesley Matthews plus minus on the court was? I'll go ahead and tell you, Young, and I'll go ahead and tell you, TJ and Theo. He was a plus 38, right? He was a plus 38. He was a plus 38. So how is that not productive? He had an average of plus 38, man, which means that every time he was on the floor, he was valuable. Uh, man, COB. I like saying his name, y'all. COB.
Put it
like I'm
down.
like I'm Cosby or something. Still, it does mean something. It does mean something, and the eye test will tell you that you can see that he wasn't really playing. He wasn't playing as much as he was normally accustomed to playing. Do you want to go on minutes? Because we could go on minutes too. Okay, all right. Look, we'll go on minutes. Since you want to go there, we'll go on minutes. You know how many minutes? Hey, check this out, young. Wesley Matthews was playing minutes in like Portland. He was playing like 33, 33.8, 33.9, 33.7, 34.2, 33.8. You know what he was playing in LA? 19.5. How how are you gonna do anything if you normally accustomed to playing some sort of way? Oh no. That's not true. Because he was not getting the man. Bogo was not using him correctly, bro. And that's odd because Bogo was he's a defensive coach, man. If you didn't run something right, Vogel would get heated. If you miss reads and all that other stuff, he was gonna get upset. And that's one of the reasons why he was upset. He was everybody was disappointed in Kyle Kuzma because he was missing reads and stuff. Kyle Kuzma is still a great player. I mean, a very good player. He just wasn't excelling in defense. Yeah, and KCP. I mean, his production dropped a little bit too. So you can't you see Theo, you going by, oh man, Wesley trash, Wesley trash. Dog, if I got Young, who's a scorer, and if he what was hey Young, you know this. What was Wesley Matthew known as? He was known as a 3 and D guy. I don't think Young can hear me. I think he fell out. Anyways, he was known as a 3 and D guy. He was known as a 3 and D guy, and that was he was one of the elite 3 and D guys. That's why the Lakers wanted him. So Theo, how are you gonna sit up there and say that a guy that went from damn near playing almost 34, 35 minutes a game to 19 minutes a game, how do you expect for him to get off? That's man, and Wesley Matthews was starting in what's it called in Milwaukee. Man, you gotta put that in its proper perspective, man. Like I'm not gonna sit here and call Wesley Matthews trash. He wasn't trash.
He was a 3 and D guy, but he said play.
Oh,
But
there
he
you
said
is. Oh man, I thought you. Oh, man, I was like, damn, yeah, man, you made me feel like, man, where's my
no. I
alibi,
had to
man?
open. I had to open. I had to do something for my little yeah, but
I'm like,
yeah,
damn, man,
I did. Yeah, because I had to do
y'all making
something.
me look
No,
dumb,
no.
man.
I had to do something for my little. Had to do something for my little sister. Yeah.
No, it's all good, bro.
Yeah, but he's a 3 and D guy because I remember because he's saying because people saying defense, but like when I saw him in the bubble, he against us. I think
Yeah, I know.
we got them in the second round. When did
Yeah.
when did he play against the Bucks in the bowl? Like second round? I think no.
Hold on.
I don't know. I think it was face. Yeah, I forgot. But he wasn't playing. I remember Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler was killing him. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, in the bubble, yeah, I'll give you that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Uh, he underperformed, but we
Right.
can't act like we can't act like overall production wasn't wasn't tremendous, given that given the amount of minutes that he had to adjust to. He listen. They even said this. They said that Wesley Matthews was a staggering improvement over Danny Green, because check it, Danny Green, he wasn't. Hey, Wesley Matthews played better defense than Danny Green. His shooting may have not been all that there, but Danny Green wasn't playing that great either. I was like, hey, you remember Young? Because I had to ask myself. I said, man, what is going on with Danny Green? And then the whole situation about the death threats and all that other stuff, had went on. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna let you in here. All right, here we go.
Hmm.
Let's
Can
get
you hear
it.
me, Polo?
Come on, come on in here, Theo. You in here again? You left once and then you came back.
No, I had to make a quick run, but I'm gonna give you a hard time about Wesley Matthews, and you're right about the minutes
No,
thing.
no, you brought up some good point. You the bubble and you and Sterling are right on key with that. Eh, a lot of people play horrible. If you want to talk about the Lakers,
No, but what I was really saying though, Polo, and I was trying to get to the other guys is that throughout his
mm,
career and history, like even when Matthews played with Dame and LaMarcus Aldridge in Portland, like yes, he played great in the regular season, but in the playoffs he shrunk. And his defense, I thought his defense was always a little bit he is a good 3 and D guy, but sometimes his defense was a little bit overrated because he had great defensive teams.
no,
Like that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm not saying he's
mm-mm.
not a good defender, guys. I'm saying in certain systems, you know what I'm saying? When you put a guy in a sit, when you got two shot blockers behind you, like Brooke Lopez and Giannis, and I can play a little closer D. You know what I mean? I'm gonna play a little bit harder if I know I got a shot blocker behind me. But through his
Okay,
career in Portland, he had Aldridge, he had the other guy Joel Prisbilla, guys that could block shots. He's not a I mean, you see that in Milwaukee, like the man said, he was getting lit up by Tyler Hero and Kendrick Nunn. Like he's not a stopper.
right, but he wasn't the only one. Danny Green was too. KCP was too. Only one that I felt
Danny,
like played really, really solid defense. Kyle Kuzma too. The only one that you could really say that really was on point the whole time was Alex Caruso, and nobody talks
Hmm.
about that.
Hmm.
but again,
Oh,
I'm gonna ask you. I got brothers in the chat because y'all know the game. Danny Green been living up his reputation for a long time. Like Danny Green in San Antonio, he was never guarding number one guy, right? When he was in San Antonio, it was Bruce Bowen, it was Kawhi Leonard guarding the number one guy, and he had Tim Duncan and other guys behind him. Then Danny Green's reputation is a little bit overinflated. And you saw that this year
Well,
with the Sixers, what he did in your playoffs, not showing up.
yeah. Well, no. Well, he wasn't. He was injured. He was injured. He was on the sideline. So that's first and foremost. But when he did a better job. He backed himself up when he was in Toronto. He did okay in the
He
regular
gave up
season.
38 points to Trey Young in the game one. I don't know.
Huh?
Yeah. I said he got abused by Kevin Herter and Trey Young in the first round. I don't know about that.
I mean, with everybody got abused by Trey Young. Trey Young was the absolute monster, and it wasn't just him. It was Collins, it was Herder, it was Bogdanovich. They had a lot of shooters on that squad. But see, the thing about it is we can't sit up. Let's get back to Matthews, okay? Matthews, you were talking about Portland. If just correct me if I'm wrong. Did they had Nicholas Batum at the time, right?
Yes, they did.
They were the two primary defenders that were doing pretty much everything. Wesley Matthews was that 3 and D guy, and Nicholas Batum was going to do everything for you. I remember that distinctly because I actually picked Portland at one point in time to go some places or whatever.
Right.
But this is what I felt. I felt like Wesley Matthews. You know what I'm saying? He did pretty good in the. He wasn't playing like 40 minutes a game, Theo. He was playing enough minutes to get you solid buckets, and he was shooting damn near 40%, and he shot damn near 90. Well, he shot about 80 something percent from the free throw line,
But
and he
see,
was
Polo, you
still he
talking
was
you
a
talking
plus
pre-injury
instead of
though,
a minus.
Polo. You
Huh?
talking before his injury though. That's before he blew his ACL out. You know.
Yeah, I mean, but we still talking about Portland though.
Right.
You still talking about Portland, but when he got to the Bucks, so you're gonna try to sit here and tell me that when he got to the Bucks, he was not productive?
I beg to differ, but I mean, if he was productive, they would have got a little bit further.
It wasn't just him though. You had they did not they came up short. All of them came up short. It was a combination of him, Giannis, Middleton, even Bledsoe came up short.
Well, I'll put it to you like this, Polo. If you ask the other gentleman in the chat or the other lady, tell me one game you can remember Wesley Matthews playing in Milwaukee. Tell me one key game that you can remember he actually showed up.
Hold on 1 second. What's up, South?
Nobody can think of it. You can't just tell me offhand. Like you can tell me one game that KCP showed
Right,
up. You can tell me one game
right.
that
We would
Kyle
have to
Kuzma.
go
What's
back.
going
You
on?
can't even. You got to think about
We
it. That's a
no,
big
we
problem.
would
You got to
have
think about it.
you're gonna have to go back, and you're gonna have to remember. That's
You,
what
you
Wesley
shouldn't have to
Matthews'
remember.
calling
You shouldn't
card
have to
was.
remember a game when the guy shows up. You know what I'm saying? If he's in the limelight,
No, but
like the
listen,
brother just said, he remembers Tyler Hero going off. He remembers Kendrick Nunn going
yeah,
off.
but that
When did Wesley Matthews
right.
do anything?
Okay, but they ended up did they end up not winning? They ended up winning, and then on top of that, he was barely getting any. He was out of whack. Ever since he got to the Lakers, he's been out of whack. He
Well,
wasn't doing nowhere near that production, the many minutes as he was when he was in Portland. I know you talk about the ACL and all that stuff, and then when he was
when he got,
Dallas and all
I
that.
believe when he got to Dallas, am I right? He got to Dallas when they gave him that big check or whatever, or somebody, and he kind of tailed off after that. I'm just saying, Polo, you can't. Nobody can really in this chat can give me one game they remember Wesley Matthews making a huge impact on a game or a series. Not even in Portland. You can't say, "Oh, Wesley Matthews put his stamp on this series." He didn't.
While he was in Dallas and he was in Portland. He had plenty. He had plenty of games where he did good. Now, is he gonna light you up for 40 points? No, but that's not his calling card. South, go ahead and take over, man. I'm finna. I gotta go back out and come in. I just had a call. Go ahead and take over. Theo, man, stay with us, and Young, y'all stay with me. I'm going out and coming back in.
What's going on, can you hear me?
How you doing, brother?
No, I was gonna kind of come in. I'm kind of discombobulated right now. I'm gonna try to stay in, but one of the main things I want to say is when we talk about perimeter defenders, man. Perimeter defenders are kind of similar to cornerbacks now, man. You know, you're only as good as you only as impactful as your supporting cast. You know, you can have a good perimeter defender in basketball, but if you're not a good defensive team, people can get you in a lot of actions and double screens and double picks and snake dribbling off the pick and roll to get you off of that said player that you want to get him off of. You know, the thing about it is if you look at a team like Milwaukee, Milwaukee was a team with a lot of versatile defenders, and they had a few solid perimeter defenders to where everybody impact could be important to the whole scheme of team, even going into the finals. Where to have a guy like Giannis, who's very versatile, could defend a lot of positions, it even made a guy like PJ Tucker and Holiday even more impactful because they were able to change, they were able to play a style of defense that no other team could in the playoffs by switching and not losing a lot on defense. So, you know, just having one impactful perimeter defender doesn't help you a lot in the NBA now, man, because it's easy to get him off of an assignment that you put him on. You know what I mean? Just like having sometimes, I mean, having one good cornerback in the league can be influent. I mean, can be impactful. But you know, in basketball, man, having just like, I mean, Matthews has been a great defender over the years, and I mean, going into this year, a lot of people felt like he should have started for the Lakers, and he started off coming off the bench, and then they tried to start him a couple of games in which he played better, but overall throughout the season, he didn't have that much impact off the bench. He had a little impact, but I mean, but it's still enough to be said that, you know, I think the Lakers brought him in, they expected more from him, especially his shooting woes he had during the season, whether he was off the bench or on the bench. So, I mean, he's a very impactful player if you put him in a team that's dedicated, I mean, that's a good defensive team. Being an extra body that you can throw, putting certain lineups out there that makes you it gives you versatility to where you can switch pick and rolls and do a lot of things and match up certain players.
My brother, y'all say that, right? But then how come it? We already in August, ain't nobody I gave him an offer. If he's so impactful, Danny Green got signed, everybody else got signed. We haven't heard one word about Matthews going anywhere. If he was so valuable,
No, I was speaking to the no, I wasn't speaking in the sense that he's so valuable. I said he can be a valuable player, you know.
I I,
But
I get it,
for
but
the past
I'm
couple
just
of
saying,
years, I could I
how come there's no interest around the league in him then?
I mean the market. I mean the thing about it, I
Because
didn't
think
say
about what you're saying,
he,
though,
he
bro. Think about
can't.
what you're saying. You saying guys in his role like KCP and Danny Green, they got snatched up right away. Wesley Matthews ain't got a phone call.
I mean I think he'll eventually get signed by somebody, man. But like I said, a guy like him with his skill set can be valuable to your team. I'm not. I'm just saying he didn't play. I just went and explained in detail. He didn't play as well in the role, whether coming off the bench or starting. He
Hmm.
played a little bit better starting, but I wasn't making the case that he need to be picked. That he got to be picked up right now. I'm just saying the expectations. I was just kind of harping on the expectations on what he had with the Lakers and other pick, even with Milwaukee, word that he could bring that, and I think he still probably can. Now him getting signed is a whole other conversation. I wouldn't
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying,
Yep. Yeah.
and I think he will eventually, But you got to think he's an older player too. That works against him too. You know what I mean?
Are you a Dallas fan there? You a Lakers fan too?
No, I'm not a fan of none. No, I'm not a fan.
Nobody.
I'm a LeBron fan. I'm a
Nah.
fan of LeBron. It's not really no player I hate. It's just certain things I hate about players' game. I mean, I hate some of the stuff LeBron do. He talks and tweets too much, but it doesn't bother me like people that hate him. And I hate some of the fact that you have KD. He's like the greatest player I've seen that has no leadership intangibles. That bothers me about him. Um,
That's a great
Kawhi,
point.
same
Kyrie as
with
well.
him,
Got Kyrie
leadership
right there
issue.
with him. So you got
I
three
don't
guys
put
on the
I don't
same
put
team that know
Kyrie
Hey,
better.
up there. Yeah, but it's things
hey,
I hate about other. What's up, Polo?
no, no, go ahead, South. I'm gonna I'm gonna he was asking about Wesley Matthews' playoff production, and I'm finna get on it with Theo B. But go ahead, man. Finish up. Go ahead, South. You
I
got it,
gave it
bro.
to you. It's
Yeah,
in the
I
chat,
think
Polo. I gave it to you.
No, no,
what
no, 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 no,
what
no.
I
But you
what I
said
was saying.
game. You said no, 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 no. Wait, whoa, whoa. Hold on, South. You told me you said name a game in which you remember, and I'm fitting to go and
Hmm.
show you specifically the impact. Go ahead, South.
No, what I was saying is I agree. At the end, how the season ended. Matthews played decent, but he didn't play it well enough for people to go out there and search for him in free agency or in going into free agency. But he still be a valuable player, and I think he will get picked up. And his age and somewhat of the question of his production offensively is what leads to him, in my opinion, not getting picked up initially. But I think he'll eventually get picked up by
Okay.
somebody.
Hey, and South. Why was that? You know what I'm saying? Why was that? That was because you could
I
see a
mean,
significant drop in his minutes. He went from playing 30 something minutes to playing like 19 minutes in a reduced role. Of course, your production is going to be diminished somewhat. He didn't even
but
shoot that
he
many
he
threes.
contributed to that as well. Nah, he contributed to that well because he didn't shoot that well when the shots were there for him to hit. So
Yeah, in the
that did
beginning of
kind
the
of
season,
contribute
yeah, he did.
to it. Yeah. And people can argue that they felt like a lot of people felt like that he should have been more of a starter than coming off the bench. And he played a little bit better when he did start, but it wasn't significantly better to, to throw a tantrum about to me. But
And people act.
nevertheless, what hurts him, he's an older player and he didn't have that great of a season that everybody expected him to have last year. You know what I'm saying?
Now, look, let's take it back to 2010, okay, Theo B. All right.
Uh-huh.
Now, when in 2010 in the 2010 playoffs when he was playing with Utah, remember he was just a rookie. Okay, he was just right. He was just a rookie. They had made it. It was the first round. He had he had four in the third game. He put up 14 points. Fourth game, he had 18 points. He was a +5 and a +13, by the way. In the sixth game, wait, in the fifth game, he had 15 points, and then in the final game in that sixth game, he had 23 points. He was a +11,
Okay.
right? Then uh, in in the second round against the Lakers. Okay, he had 14. I remind you, this is just when he first starting out. He had 14 points before the surgery and all that stuff, and the
Mm-hmm.
knees and stuff. He had 14 points in the first game. Second game, he had 14. Third game, he had 9. Uh, he was still a +2, and then that fourth and final game, he had a subpar 12. Okay, now in 2011, didn't play so good that first game. He only had 2. Second game, this is when he was with Portland, with his first year at Portland. He had 13 second game. We're talking about playoffs. Third game, he had 25, was a +5. That was that game that he had went off and he was hitting all those threes. I remember that specifically in 11.
Mm-hmm.
Then that very next game, he was inconsistent. He had 11, and then he had 8, but then came and bounced back and he had 19. Had 19 that final game. Missed the playoffs last after those 3 years. They made it back in 14. He had 18 that first game. Okay, was a +9. Second game didn't do so well. He had 9, but it was a +4. Third game he didn't only had 5. The next 2 games, okay, in 14, in the fourth and fifth game, he had 21 with a +9. Then on top of that, he had 27. Then that final game, that sixth and final game, he had 12.
Mm.
In 14 again, they had the next round. The first few games he didn't do that well. He had 8, and then he had 14 the first and second game. He had 22 the third game. Then he had 10, bounced back and had 14, but he was still a +10 and a +17 on those final games. He didn't play in the next series due to injury or whatnot. Then in 16, because he came back that very next season after 15. Didn't do too good the first 2 games in 2016. The first 2 games he had 7, he had 6. Then he had 22. Then he had 19. Then he had 11. 19. We already know the story with the playoffs or whatever. He had 8. He didn't do that good. He had 6. He had 11, and he had 3. His production was dropped in that one. And then in 2020, he didn't play. He didn't play that great in terms of points was concerned. But see, he did have a good impact in terms of the defense in the fifth game. No, the third game and in the fifth game, because he had 9 points, but he was a +20, and he had 3 points, but he was a +15. He only had 10, 7, 9, 12, and 3. Last year, he didn't do that great either. He only, or well, the previous year before that, he had 7, 4, 6, 3, and 11, and then last year he had 2, 0, 8, 6, 5, and 12. You know what I'm saying? So you could see what I was alluding to, Cob, is that the thing about it is what, like you said, when he first came in, I mean he was phenomenal, and one could argue that when he was with the Bucks, he had significant impact when he was playing the minutes that he was supposed to play. He was used to playing like anywhere between 33 to 35 minutes a game. He went down to 19, 18 minutes a game, Phil and
Oh,
Sal.
I see what you're saying, right? I mean that's kind of the same thing with Kyle Kuzma. If people would like to use him as a scapegoat, but if Kyle Kuzma got the same minutes and shots. He put up numbers.
Hold
So
on.
you feel the way I feel on that. Oh, go ahead, South. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, South. You got it, bro.
I'm actually in the store. I don't know if there's too much racket in here, but you,
No. You all right?
Wesley
We hear you
Matthews,
clear, man.
you
You
were quoting
good?
his rookie year stuff.
That was his
That's what you was getting.
playoff stats.
I
His
mean,
his,
I
his
understand what you're trying to do, but he's been in the league for a while now. Matthew's been in the league for a while.
yeah, 2010.
Yeah, yeah. So the player he was early in his career, I mean, we can't. I mean, most people are not. I mean, most people don't play as long as he's gonna play the average player. So I'm not expecting him to be the same player he was 10 years ago or 8, 9 years ago. I mean,
And Theo,
what in his he's what 33, 34 now.
yeah, hey, yeah, you on point with that, South. But Theo, this is what South. I give Theo props on this though. I will give him this because I like to be fair. That ACL injury did set him back, and I forgot to mention that it did set him back a tad. So that I just wanted to let Theo know he was on point with that. But where I disagree is about his production in Milwaukee and the production years prior to that in comparison to now to what he's doing.
Yeah, it take a couple years to come back from the ACL. I think he got hurt in 2015 when he signed that deal with Dallas. Or into that offseason, that's why they missed the playoffs in Portland. He tore his ACL. But Polo, do you think
And
Kyle Kuzma will have an All Star
I
year
just
this
think
year?
he had a point now where he
Can you hear me, Theo? I think we might have fell out. Theo, can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you
Okay,
guys. Yeah, it was at the sound was out for a
I,
while.
I, did, okay. Did South fall out? Theo, can you hear me, bro?
Yeah. Yes, I
I
can.
can hear you guys. Yeah, it was at the sound was out for a while. Okay, did South fall out?
Yeah,
Yes, I can.
I can hear you.
Oh yeah, now I'm hearing the echo. I'm gonna shut. Hey,
I
Theo.
can hear
I'm
you,
gonna shut
Paulo.
this. Okay, I understand. I'm gonna shut this one down, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back with another one, man. Stay with me, man. Pull up a little bit later, okay? This Polo Sports Talking into man. I gotta shut this one down, man. Having some technical difficulties, man. Just stay with me, man. I'll be right back, y'all. I'm out at y'all.
Okay.